Hi, this is a Trood Dive in episode 7, and we're coming closer to the top of the pyramid of multiple levels of products, technologies, and approaches, bringing value to tech product creators. On the previous two videos, we discussed the business part of tech product development and Web3 and how it helps to launch tech products. We briefly mentioned how Web3 enforces communities, and today we will concentrate on the community-driven business development concept. Generally, as usual, I will mostly speak about the problems concerning tech product creators, but generally communities are a great way for anyone to contribute to projects for profit, for experience, for great networking. So I truly believe that anyone watching would find some related tips regarding the community-driven world. And I will start with some problems, general problems with which communities might help. In 95%, a startup launch is paying for a whole bunch of people, for startuppers, for their investors, for their first customers, for their families. And statistically, the number one problem for startups is the poor product market fit, but actually it might be broken down for some more specific reasons.
I would mention some problems which are pretty widespread and serious. The first is a poor hypothesis testing cycle. What must be the core function of startups, constant hypothesis testing, often becomes a third priority activity and practice for founders. As a result, the product just corresponds to the imagination of its creators, not the real customer's need, and so fails. And in most cases, it's not the founder's illiteracy, but a real-world necessity to spend too much time on fundraising, product development, and operations. In the list of troubles, then goes a lack of transparency, usually caused by the same reasons. Nobody knows what the team is doing, often even the team. As a consequence, or as a separate issue, lots of startups have an excessive burn rate. Startups are either not doing engineering and marketing at all, or overpaying for it. And the last but not least to mention are co-founders' problems. Actually, this is quite a rare situation when co-founders have shares and responsibilities distribution, which they find fair and investors find effective. As a result, 90% of startups die not reaching product market fit and leaving their first supporters without money, product, and joy. Community-driven business development and building public concepts helps to solve a lot of problems. A community is a great way to test hypotheses, selling product ideas to people to engage them. As a community needs constant updates and deep information, a startup is naturally forced to share news and metrics in a much more natural way than just a quarter investor reports. Having a strong community provides access to both cloud mass labor and strong professionals who were usually unavailable for early stage hiring. And a prominent motivation program for a community helps to turn core contributors into shareholders after sufficient time of collaboration and enough pivots, making sure the team is strong and cool.
Sounds like a magic wand, but of course in the reality everything is quite more complicated. And there are a lot of tools, of course, for community management, but be ready that you will have to become a blogger, a panelist, an interviewer, a writer, and get even more roles additionally to your main job. And unstructured community management can lead to severe lack of resources for founders and for the whole team. But there are some approaches which helps to build the things in the right way, and the result might truly pay off.
What do we need to get the most out of the community management for product creators? We need platforms to share information about our project, updates on it, and requests to project's audience. We should have some wikis so the community could dive into the product information and at the best scenario participate in the documents development. If we have an active community, we even can have a separate community-aimed task management system. In order to engage the community to do anything, you should have a reward system and reward instruments such as tokens. And token management system is what makes sense here. Last but not least, we need to maintain discussions inside the community and bring the information outside the community. This list might be extended or modified, and you can see how different projects deal with that inside Trood community, but here we provide the basic set of tools. Let's finally see what does GM Suite consists of. GM Suite is not yet another product, but a set of best practices of using solutions existing on the market to get the most out of the community, using startup resources in an optimal way. As a place to store project information, share product updates and requests, we tried separate platforms, but ended up launching our own, which is Tokenhunt.club. Why we did it and what's the strategy of its development, you can learn from other videos and inside the community. But here I want just to show that this is a cozy place to tell the world about your product and call for participation. Now we're adding a deeper integration with Trood revenue share tokens and other options for project tokens to be published. We did a separate video regarding TRST, but revenue share tokens are not the only option. At the very beginning, you can also issue a community token, just an invitation into your community. There is a great instrument called Highlight XYZ, where you can instantly create your community token and even add some basic functionality to it. After creating your token, you can publish it on Tokenhunt.club and get the instructions how to maximize your audience engagement with it. Maybe we'll post a separate video about that if we see enough demand. We will not stay for a long time on wikis, discussions, and marketing platforms, as they are pretty well known. Just will say that we've added Cousin CRM to the project bundle we use, as it helps to better segment and monitor your audience from Twitter and Discord. We have Trood community in Discord, and we create channels for Tokenhunt.club projects which want to integrate their community into ours. And finally, as you can see, MVP engines are stated here on the slide to be the part of GM Suite. This might be more of a product part, but there is an important thing here.
If you want to get the most out of your community, or if you want to become community driven, which means giving your community power to vote, for example, for product features, then your product development must be flexible and your product cycles must be really short. So you can start with a tilde or bubble on early stages just to understand the very need in your product. And then we will, of course, recommend using Trood Core when you are certain on what you are building. This is how you get the fully scaled product, which you are still can quite easily change, update, and even pivot if the market needs it. The stack I've presented has shown a significant synergy. So creating and managing the community is not a piece of cake, but built in the right way, it at least can decrease customer acquisition costs for you. It can increase retention, and it can increase user involvement. And so it really pays off. What can it do for you? It is the great way to sell your idea in return to get people involvement. And you can even get your product through community. You can get marketing, sales, and as I said, you can significantly decrease operation expenses, which is crucial on early startup stages. Of course, I would refer to Trood community in order to get more detailed examples and real-life cases. Our directions of further research here would be human capital management for communities, and also we had to come up with something big. This would be the union of Trood technologies, GM Suite, and integrations under one hood. It's still too early, but you already can find Trood Launchpad teaser, and welcome to the community for more details again. On the next video, we will discuss the whole Trood ecosystem in more details, and then we will recap the whole course, answering for our main question, how to come from an idea to the scaled solution, and how to live in the decentralized, horizontally oriented world fruitfully and joyfully.